The Beaches podcast is going to give you everything you want to know about a beach before you go there. I hope you enjoy the show. Be sure to check out our website, www.sandee.com. Without further ado, let's get into the show.
Hey everyone, and welcome back. Today we're diving deep into a topic you specifically requested.
Hurricanes.
You got it. Specifically hurricane history right here in the U.S. And how to use all that knowledge to plan your travel.
Yeah.
You want to be in the know.
Absolutely informed travelers.
Not just the what is a hurricane,
right,
but the when and the where.
Of course, that's key.
And to top it all off, you're after those smart travel tips, those insider secrets to dodge those storms completely. I mean, who wants a hurricane in their vacation photos, right?
Definitely not. And what's so fascinating about hurricane history is how much it can actually tell us about where and when to travel. Understanding those patterns
Makes you a smarter traveler.
A much savvier traveler.
I like that. Okay, so let's unpack all of this. You're looking for a detailed history of hurricanes here in the U.S., but we're going to keep this engaging.
Of course.
This isn't just a boring list of dates and names.
Absolutely not. It's about painting a picture. So imagine, if you will, relying on scattered ship logs, stories whispered through generations.
That's how we understood hurricanes for a long time.
That's how it was. It wasn't until the late 1800s, early 1900s that we started really tracking, systematically studying these storms.
And look how far we've come.
Right.
Now, obviously, we can't cover every single hurricane, but I'm really curious. Are there any particularly significant hurricanes that stand out, in U.S. history?
Oh, absolutely. The Galveston hurricane of 1900, that was a turning point. The storm surge, which nobody really expected, devastated the city. It really highlighted the need for accurate forecasting, which back then we just didn't have. And then you have Hurricane Andrew in 92, widespread destruction in Florida. That one really drove home the raw power of a Category 5 hurricane.
Wow.
And of course, Hurricane Katrina in 2005. Stark reminder of how vulnerable we are, even with modern forecasting, the devastating impact these storms can have on communities.
Those examples, those are some powerful reminders of why it's so important to understand these storms. You mentioned tracking hurricanes. Does that mean that there are specific times of year or even specific regions that tend to have more hurricane activity?
You've hit on such a crucial point. The Atlantic Basin, and that includes, the entire east coast of the U.S., the Gulf of Mexico, even extending beyond U.S. borders down to the Caribbean Sea, we've got a defined period of peak hurricane activity, June 1st to November 30th.
Okay.
We call this hurricane season.
Hurricane season. Makes sense.
And within that season, there are peaks. August, September tend to be the most active.
So knowing this about hurricane season, how can they use this to plan trips and, try to avoid these storms?
It really comes down to, timing. Traveling outside of hurricane season, it significantly reduces your risk. But you've got to remember those peak months, that August-September timeframe.
Yeah.
That's all tied to warmer water temperatures.
Which fuels hurricanes.
Exactly. But it's not just about the calendar. Staying updated on current forecasts, advisories, that is crucial no matter when you travel.
Okay, so being informed is absolutely key here. But what about those listeners who are set on that beach vacation, right, during a potentially risky time? Are there alternative destinations that maybe they could consider?
Always alternatives. Let's say you're dreaming of Florida, the Carolinas in, let's say, September. Beautiful spots.
Beautiful.
But prime hurricane zones during that time.
Yeah.
Have you considered heading north to the Delaware beaches? Or maybe exploring the California coast? Still those beach vibes, but statistically less likely to be hit by hurricanes in September.
Oh, I like those options. See, I hadn't thought about that, but those are some great alternatives.
Yeah.
So we've talked about avoiding hurricanes. What happens when you've planned your dream trip and bam, suddenly there's a hurricane threat?
First things first, don't panic. This is where travel insurance proves its weight in gold. Make sure you have it. Make sure you understand what it covers for hurricane-related issues, cancellations, delays, even medical emergencies. Next, get in touch with your airlines, hotels, tour operators, everyone involved as quickly as possible. They're generally very understanding in these situations, and they'll work with you on reschedulings, refunds, you name it.
It's all about being prepared and knowing what steps to take.
Absolutely. And perhaps rather than just fearing hurricanes, we can view them as, a powerful reminder, of nature's force, the need for careful planning. When you think about it that way, kind of takes some of that stress out of it.
Such a good point. It's about Respecting nature, acknowledging that sometimes it throws us a curveball.
It does.
But with the right preparation, the right knowledge, you can navigate those challenges and still enjoy amazing travel experiences. So there you have it. You've got the historical context, you understand hurricane season and the why behind it, and you've even got a plan B in case a hurricane tries to crash your party.
Exactly. A little preparation goes a long way.
Safe travels, everyone.
Safe travels.
Thanks for listening to the show, and be sure to tune in next week for your favorite episode about some of the best beaches and beach information in the world.